Hello everyone. As part of this presentation, I am going to talk about delta sharing. So what is delta sharing? Delta sharing is an open protocol for securely sharing live data across platforms and organizations. This was developed by Databricks. As you see here, delta sharing. So even though this is developed by Databricks, don't get confused that this is applicable only for Databricks platform. So this delta sharing, it can be implemented or can be used in any other platform where you have Parquet files or Parquet files that are defined as using delta. So basically, the delta sharing is developed by Databricks, and that supports any delta table. So if you have Parquet files, and if those Parquet files are created as a delta, so you can use the delta sharing. So what exactly delta sharing? As you see here, you can securely share your data. So let's say you have a database and it consists of several tables, and you would like to share, within your organization you would like to share to any other department where they don't have access to informatics or data warehouse. You can directly share with them, or if you are sharing with any other outside of your organization, you can securely share the data. So for this purpose you are going to use delta sharing. So here are a few benefits of using delta sharing: real-time data access, node data duplication, cross-cloud and cross-platform support, open source friendly. So let's talk about the real-time data access. As we are discussing, as part of delta sharing, you can share the data what you have, and with that it you don't need to copy data anywhere. You can just provide the access to your data or tables. So any changes that happens, other either within your organization, other department, any other vendor can access your data in real time. As and when the data gets updated, so it also reflects in data sharing. So if any vendor or any other people who are accessing your data can see in real time. So that's one big benefit of this delta sharing. As we said, so there is no copying of the data, or all you are doing is you are simply exposing the data to the other outside of your organization or to the department. So here you are not moving the data around, so that's why you can avoid copying data or creating the similar data somewhere else. Cross cloud and cross platform support. So as we said, so this is an open protocol. You can let's say you have a data in Amazon, you can share this data to Azure cloud or Google cloud, and across platform. So this is not specific to Databricks, since it's an open protocol. Data sharing mechanism. Let's say you have a data that Amazon EMR, and you can access it uh, from there, and into a Tableau or Power BI. You have a data in Databricks, so Databricks data can be exposed to Amazon EMR. So there's cross-platform support also it provides, and open source friendly. Since it's a open protocol, delta sharing is an open protocol. So you don't need to have Databricks or any other. So it's going to support in Python, in Pandas, or you can use any open source code, open source platforms to access this delta sharing. And here are deployment of, as I said. So you can, if you have a Databricks, so this Databricks delta sharing comes with the Databricks as an built-in. So you have a GUI support there. You can use you can implement delta sharing if you are using Databricks already. Let's say if you do not have a Databricks, and if you are open source, then you need to have a delta sharing server. So using delta sharing server, you can achieve delta sharing. And for, as I said, so if you are Spark, Pandas, or Power BI, or Tableau, so any of the clients you have, you can access this delta sharing using these clients. And lastly, I wanted to explain so how actually it works. So this is under the hood mechanism is very beautiful. So in delta sharing, you have a data provider and you have a data recipient. So as I said, so if you are sending data, you are a data provider, and whoever is going to receive or we are going to read the data is the data recipient. So these are the two parties here. And if you look at here on your left side, so we have a delta table. As we said, so this delta sharing works only for the delta tables. So you have a delta table which is created on top of Parquet files. So now, and you have a delta sharing server after. Okay, so let's say the way it works, and you have a delta sharing client as well. So now, as a first step, the delta sharing client sends a request to delta sharing server. So once the request is received, so delta sharing server checks whether this particular user having access to get the data. So once the data client, delta sharing client, delta sharing server authorizes, then it goes and checks, okay, where what data is required. Is it required all of the table or part of the table? So once it's determined, what it does is it sends back URL. So let's say you have data on AWS S3. So we know that the data can be viewed using an URL. So what it does is it doesn't actually sends the data over the network. It actually just sends the URL. So if you see the dotted line where my cursor is, so as part of a response, it just sends the URLs of the data that was requested. And now user can directly use those URLs and access the data. So in other words, as you see here, these are very short-lived URLs. So these cannot be once you use it, so it's kind of gone. So that's why these URLs are very short-lived. So instead of sharing the data, what is happening is, as a response, you would get an URL, and using that URL, data sharing client access the data from Amazon S3 here in this case. So which means you are not copying data, you are not moving around. So all you are trying to do is you are just getting a data from Amazon S3 directly. So this is the beauty of delta sharing. How this how the actual delta sharing works. So I know there are so many other benefits and security. We can talk about how security can be implemented. So like any other software, so the delta sharing also ensures that data is securely shared, and it also ensures that unauthorized users cannot access this. So there are other topics that I can cover, but this is basic delta sharing details I thought of sharing. So hope you got something out of this one. Thank you for listening.